I love this guy, Bill Boyce, and he is in one of my favorite parts of the world, Central America. More specifically, he's in Panama. More specifically, the beautiful Tropic Star Lodge. Bill, how the heck are you?
How could I not be, right? I'm at Tropic Star Lodge, bitches.
How's everything going, man? You've been down there for over a month, haven't you?
Yeah, they brought me down to be the fish director host for the Marlin season, right? The Black Marlin season, which here is January, February, and March. So I got down here December 2nd, and I'll be down here till March 2nd. So I've got another, I don't know, 3 weeks. And it's been a historic, absolute historic season. 62 years of this lodge's history. We've caught more blue and black marlin on a weekly basis, a daily basis, and per boat basis than at any time in the 62-year history, which is a ton of history at this amazingly infamous lodge.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Can you put your finger on anything that might be driving that? Is it water temperature? Is it availability of bait? Obviously, it sounds like the fishery's in really good shape, but anything you can point to that might indicate why we're having such a great season in Panama?
So you just hit on two of them. Yeah. So what it basically was, the last couple of years has been pretty slow because there's an El Nino, and as you know, El Ninos in California can make a difference in our fisheries. El Nino's at 8 degrees north of the equator. It is hot water, 87, 88-degree water temperatures at the surface. Those fish just don't like being on that stuff. It's probably cooler, maybe 20, 30 feet down, but that surface temp really does make a difference in the way they behave. So with El Nino gone and La Nino set in, we are in the middle of summer here, right? We're down here at 8 degrees north of the equator, and this is their dry summer season. And the water temps are still like 80, 81, 82. Prime conditions for the bait to be at the surface. When the bait's at the surface, and there's been a prolific amount of black skipjack, bullet tuna here on the surface, even Dorado as well. So there's all kinds of stuff for these fish to eat, and they are here in mass. I would say about right now it's about 33% of the fish are black marlin, about 66% of the fish are blue marlin, but a lot of them. We just set a lodge record last Friday. One boat got 10 blue marlin in an 8-hour fishing day, and the fleet itself caught 51 blues and blacks, which was the most it's ever caught in a single day in the lodge history.
Mind boggling numbers. And what about the grade? What size fish? What do they range in terms of the size on the fish you're catching now?
Yeah, great question. Great question, Phil. The Blues have been running about 150 to about 400. I think the biggest blue we've seen is might be getting close to 5, but the average 150 to say 400, average of that about a 250 to 300 fish.
Yeah.
Catching them on plastics and live baits. The blacks have been running a little bit bigger. A black on the small side would be maybe 250. The average size is around 350 to 450, and some of the bigger blacks maybe 5, a little bit above.
My God, Bill. And how far of a run is it until you are in the area where you can conceivably start seeing some good action?
About 6 miles. Yeah,
Oh
there's
my
a place.
God.
Yeah, no, there's a piece of real estate out here called the Zangray Reef. And I mean, you look at the surrounding volcanic mountains and some of the islands that are right here just outside of Pinas Bay, and you think there'd be a lot of that kind of offshore banks, pinnacles. There's just not a lot of that habitat, right? So there's a place about 6 miles out. It's called the Zangray Reef, and it's maybe the size of a football field, and it goes anywhere from say, oh, it starts about 320 feet, and then it goes up to about 210, 180, and about 160. And that's where a lot of that bait, that upwelling that pushes against that rock, brings a lot of that cooler water and small bait that the tunas are feeding on. So every morning, you literally start your day on the Zangray Reef, catching black skipjack or bullet tuna, put them in tuna tubes, and then catch a few extras. And then with those fish, you're going to live bait them, and you're going to fish right around that reef. And those blacks come up and just eat those baits. As soon as you pull off that reef, you get a better chance on blue marlin. I mean, you can catch blacks 10, 12, 20 miles out. But most of the blacks have been caught on what they call the Zangray Reef in the mornings or in the late afternoons. And then after that morning bite, most of the boats turn off, go offshore about 10, 12 out. There's a little edge, goes from 300 to 600, that drops on down to about 1,200. And there's been a good concentration of fish out there and a lot of bait, a lot of small oceanic skipjack and a lot of small yellowfin tuna, which are preferred baits to catch marlin, right?
Tell me if I'm getting this right, because it sounds like everybody who leaves Tropic Star Lodge right now, you're going to be surprised if they don't have some action on blue and black marlin. It's that good right now.
It's crazy. It's historic. Phil, it's historic, dude. I mean, they've never seen fish like this. There's people have been coming here I've been coming here 27 years and I've never seen like this. I've always seen good fishing, right? But we've never seen these numbers of fish and just so readily available. And that's just what we're catching, Phil. We're running on lures. We're running about 10 out of 10 fish hooked on a lure, about 3 are landed. On live bait, pitching live baits or slow trolling live baits, our hookup ratios go up higher with circle hooks, and we're catching maybe about 7 out of 10, right? So yeah, it's so what we're catching is not at all what we're actually seeing and hooking.
Live bait fishing, blue and black marlin. Is there anything more exciting? Is there
That's
anything
crazy.
better?
No, I mean, I actually like to tease fish up with teasers and then, pitch to them, right? Get tease fish in the pattern and present a bait to them, either a dead bait or a belly strip. That's my favorite way, because then the fish comes up, you see them eat your bait, you feed them, you come tight, game on. But the live bait is kind of interesting that you're slow trolling. You don't make as much, you can't cover as much ground slow trolling live baits. But you'll see the rubber band start to stretch. You'll see your lines going sideways. You know that bait is getting chased by a marlin, and booyah, the rubber band snaps and it's game on.
Oh my God. Bill, this is going to be a ridiculous question because this marlin bite is so good. But is there any other angling opportunities during this time of the year right now? Can you catch anything else?
Are you ready for this?
Softball
So
question there.
every day we're bringing in. So there's like 15 to 18 boats going out every day. We're bringing back in about 10 to 12 Dorado. The small ones are 40. The big ones, because we've got an IGFA scale, the big ones have been 65-pound Dorado.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
What?
massive. They're just massive animals. And there's been a lot of big yellowfin tuna the last couple of weeks. The biggest we've scaled is about 250. A lot of them in the 200-pound class, 180 to 220.
Wow. So what do most of the boats leave in the early morning and come back in the afternoon? Is that how that works? Are there
Yeah.
multi-day
So,
trips? How does that work?
yeah. So this time of year, they only book 6-day trips. So Saturday to Saturday, right? You get here on Saturday, you fish Sunday through Friday. And then, you fly back home on Saturday. So it's 6 days of fishing. You leave the dock at 6:30. You can't leave earlier. We don't want people being at the Zangray Reef, right, making their bait and catching a black before anybody else. So it's a freaking race to the Zangray.
That's awesome.
Nobody leaves. Yeah, it is. It's so funny, right? So you don't
Yeah.
leave till 6:30, and then you fish till 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is over. So you figure by the time you get to the reef, you're making your bait at 7. So you got a full 8 hours of fishing.
That is fabulous. Hey, tell us and tell everybody out there listening a little bit about the lodge, the accommodations, the pueblo or city that they're in. Are you guys in David? Is that where you're at?
No, no. So David is to the north, right? We're close to the Colombian border. Tropic Star Lodge is about 25, 28 miles from Colombia on
Yeah,
the Pacific side, right? And the lodge is insane. I mean, it's some of the finest accommodations and food and service of any lodge in the world, and that's why Tropic Star has the reputation it has and will keep. I mean, people come here year after year after year because you just can't even amaze. I mean, you are amazed at what they have in the Darien jungle. This is a freaking wilderness jungle. You have to fly here or come in by boat. There is no road. The closest road's about 100 and some miles from here. So it's really remote. And when you see what they've got here, this unbelievable fleet of all these really cool 31 Bertrams that have been so well refined and refurbished. And then we've got a couple of Vikings and a couple of Hatterses. But the fleet is famous for its very colorful, because each one has a different color, different country. The Miss Spain, the Miss Canada, the Miss Australia, the Miss America. And they've all got their own names, and it's really kind of fun. And but yeah, it's just an iconic place. And every time people come in, I pick people up on Saturday. I say goodbye to all the departing anglers, say hello to all the new ones coming in. And the new ones, the first question I always ask is, have you ever been here before? Many hands go up. I would say half the clients, maybe even more than half the clients this time of year, are repeat, right? Customers.
Yeah.
But the ones that haven't, I always tell them in the little Ponga ride from the airport over, because it's about maybe a 5-minute Ponga ride to the lodge. I just tell them, I say, hey, listen, I don't care what you've read. I don't care what you've seen online. I don't care what you've seen on television. I don't care what you've done to mentally prepare yourself for this experience. When you leave next week, it will exceed every expectation you had. And I've yet to have anybody say, oh, no, that wasn't the case. They just, it's amazing, Phil.
God, I got a feeling one of these years you're just not going to come back. You're going to fall in love with a Panamanian girl, or just the and the
That would
like.
be easy to do. That would be really, really easy to do. There's some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women down here in Panama. But in fact, they've offered me back to come back next year. And so for me, it's a nice 3-month gig, right? It's the middle of winter. Fishing off Southern California is slow. Fishing in Baja, windy and cold, at least in the Cortez where I have my place. And so it's really a perfect time of year for me to come down here and hang out. And again, you're catching big, large buffaloes out here. I'm getting some amazing photography and meeting some really, really cool people from all over the world, because there's international anglers that come here, right? And just learning new techniques, slow trolling big baits for marlin. It's kind of a new technique I've not done a lot of other than here at Tropic Star Lodge. And so, yeah, it's just a ton of fun. I definitely will be back next year.
Bill, is there anything else to do when you get back from a fishing trip, exploring the town, or any other things that people can do there?
Great questions, Phil. So we have kayaks here. We've got a couple of pongas that you can take out for like $120 an hour. You get 3-4 guys at it. You go out and you can popper fish for snappers and roosterfish, bluefin trevally, Sierra, or you can deep jig for Armico jacks. Big Armico jacks there too as well. So yeah, Jack Crevalle. It's a phenomenal inshore fishery, which very few people are exploring right now because the marlin fishing's been so good. But there are kayaks. There's a river about 2 miles away. You can kayak over there and catch snook. There's now tarpon in these waters. They came
Wow.
through the Panama Canal about 20 years ago, and they've established quite a population. In fact, I've been seeing a little baby tarpon on the beach where Jack Crevalle are chasing them right up on the beach. And so they're actually spawning and breeding here. And then during inshore season, which is April, May, June, is when most of the inshore fishing is done, they're starting to catch like 200-pound tarpon.
That is freaking amazing. And
I know,
would you
it's
care to
crazy
make a
fishing.
comment about the people of Panama, the hospitality, the warmth? I know how wonderful people in Central America are. I'm married to a Costa Rican woman for 30 years. So they're just beautiful, beautiful people, aren't they?
Amazing people. They are so warm-hearted, so family-orientated. And they're just a very peace-loving people, right? I worked through Panama when I worked for the Inter-American Tropical Tuna Commission. I worked in and out of Panama for 12 years, back in the 80s, right? 82 to 80 to 94, about those 12 years. So I really felt the heart and soul of the Panamanian people, and it's never changed. It's never changed. They're the same, very, very even-tempered, and they just love the ocean. They love their lives, and it's kind of fun to be around a different culture like that, eh?
That's great. Bill, if somebody listening wants to come down there and experience all of this, is the best way to visit the website, or how should they do that?
Yeah, they can go to tropicstarlodge.com, right? And just say that they heard you chatting it up with Bill Boyce, and that, hey, he's the fishing host director here, and he suggests they get their butts down here and enjoy some of this amazing marlin fishing and grand slams, right? So there's not a lot of places in the world that you can catch 3 species of billfish in a day, but here we're getting slams almost daily. Blue marlin, black marlin, and sailfish, right? A lot of Pacific sails around here. Some of the Pacific sails have been big, like 140-pound sailfish. Big stuff. Very rare you get a striped marlin. I think we've only caught 2 all season. So it's typically the grand slam here, blue marlin, black marlin, and a sailfish, and you can slam almost every day out here. The opportunity is surely here daily.
I freaking love it. How about we do this more often? Maybe check in once every week. We'll check in with you because I've absolutely loved this.
Yeah, this would be a blast. I'd love to do it too. Yeah, the lodge needs to be pumped up. It's been such a phenomenal season here, right? And it deserves to have some shout out in the industry.
100%. Well, we're going to do that right now. Always good seeing you, my friend. I can't wait to see you in person again. But thanks for taking time out of your busy day down there in Panama to check in with us. And we'll do it again really, really soon, Bill.
That sounds really fun, Phil. Hey, great chatting it up with you. And hey, peace out, brother.
God bless you. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Hey, man, God bless you back, buddy. See ya.